confidence in her because of her gross misconduct in the Senate that led us to a 6-month suspension where Kogi Central will not be represented at the National Assembly.
Under the Constitution of Nigeria, elected officials, including the president, the vice president, governors, deputy governors, are not subjected to recall process. The Constitution stipulates the process for their impeachment by the legislative arm of the government. While state laws provide the procedures for the impeachment of local government chairman, vice chairman, under the Constitution, those selected officials may be impeached, procedures that are well articulated and spelled out.
What is facing Nigeria now? Nigeria is officially in a state of constitutional crisis. We are not realizing that yet.
The challenge, however, comes with the removal of legislators. In this video, I will be reviewing the current state of affairs regarding the recall of an elected member of the National Assembly, State House of Assembly, or a member of an area council of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, as we look at the recall process of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan.
90.
The Constitution makes provision for the recall of members of the National Assembly and State House of Assembly in Section 69 and 110, respectively. Implementation, however, is where the problem lies, and there has never been any single case since 1999, that is 25 years and counting, where a legislator has been successfully recalled under the Constitution. The right to recall an elected legislator is one of the cornerstones of democratic governance, empowering the constituents to hold their representative accountable. But in this case, the people of Kogi are allegedly forced to recall their senator because of a sexual harassment petition against the Senate president. Have you known so?
We submitted a petition. It's been received. All other documents have been received. This is the acknowledgement copy of the petition.
Is it the entire constituency or just a group of people? Under which platform are you representing?
Okay, it is a concerned Kogi youth and women.
Like you can see in this video, where the woman was talking about, the recalling process, they have done that and all of that. The Section 69 provides that a member of the Senate or of the House of Representatives may be recalled as such a member if, underline, if there is presented to the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission a petition in that behalf signed by more than one half of the persons registered to vote in that member's constituency, alleging their loss of confidence in that member and which signatures are duly verified by the Independent National Electoral Commission. And B, underlined, the petition is thereafter in a referendum conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission within 90 days of the date of receipt of the petition approved by a simple majority of the vote of the person registered to vote in the member's constituency. The question now is that, are they following the process of the recall as it has been written in the Constitution? What is
very much? We all know the I.N.E.C rules. You cannot submit a petition without having to go and get signatures of registered voters, and that's why we're now saying, as a people, we are recalling her back from the Senate because we have gotten what it takes to recall her back from the Senate.
Now, in Section 110 of the Constitution, which make a similar provision with respect to the recall of a member of the State House of Assembly, this section of the Constitution were amended in 2010 to include the words and which signatures are duly verified by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Remember that in the last election, the President of Nigeria did not meet up to the provision of the Constitution when it was written and FCT, but was declared the president and backed by the Supreme Court, which has now sent Nigeria into the current constitutional crisis where a president can now suspend the governor and the whole arm of the legislation and nothing is happening.
I.N.E.C loans. Where? In Nigeria.
This amendment adds a layer to the recall process by requiring that the signatures of the petitioners must be verified. The initial provision, which did not include this phrase, was loose, necessitating an amendment. However, it would seem that legislators were much more concerned about increasing the impossibility of their recall by adding a clause that requires verification of petitioner's signature. The Electoral Act in Section 2C also empowered the I.N.E.C to conduct any referendum required under the Constitution, where Section 113 of the Act provides for the recall of a member of an area council of the FCC by similar provisions stipulated in the Constitution. The recall process in Nigeria can be segmented into three main parts: submission of a petition signed by more than 50% of registered voters in the legislator's constituency, verification of the signature by I.N.E.C, and the conduct of a referendum. While the process appears straightforward in the theory, these provisions present significant challenge that make recalling a legislator in Nigeria become so much impossible in a practical term. But the I.N.E.C has come up with guidelines detailing the process. For recall of elected legislator, it is unclear how this will achieve the removal of an ineffective or failing legislator in the practical term. A close look at this guideline revealed that upon receipt of the petition from the constituent by I.N.E.C, an exercise for verification of petitioner's signature and a referendum will hold. The process for the two exercises are likened a conduct of an election. Given that an election not up to 50% of registered voters elects the legislator, why is there such a high threshold to recall them? In the case of Natasha Akpoti-Odoha, is it that she is underperforming? Like the video you've been seeing as we read through the constitutional provision, let me also let you know that there is no any part of that video where it was stated that she is misrepresenting the constituency where she is representing at the Senate. But the young lady make it, obvious that she is being sponsored by some certain people. In her statement where she said that because of her nonchalant attitude, is the reason for her suspension at the National Assembly. Hence, they cannot stay for 6 months without being represented at the National Assembly. Hence, they are recalling her. But I will allow you to watch a full part of this video, towards the end part of this video. But the truth of the matter still remains that why are they trying to recall? Is it just because of the suspension? Is she the only one that has been suspended? Many people may justify the reason given by this lady and those who are supporting her or are with her. Some people even said that a woman trying to remove a woman from the Senate, this is a big conspiracy, and it is high time that Nigerians understand this particular behavior and rise up to the occasion. The truth of the matter still remains that the people of Kogi State were called upon to come for an empowerment, which we talked about in our previous video regarding this situation. But they, somehow maneuver some of them to sign a document which now shows that they have now initiated another fraudulent activities in order to remove Natasha Akpoti. Do not forget that during the plenary where the senator said that they had a unanimity in signing that form for her suspension, it was revealed that it was a heavy fraud whereby the people in that committee did not sanction for her suspension, but it was just a register of the attendee of that particular meeting that day that was used. You see? And so when you look at all of this now, coupled with this behavior now, it is something that makes many to believe that the accusation on Senate President and all the allegations that are out there seems to be true. Why can't you just step aside and then let the investigation be done? Why rushing to even suspend her in the first place, knowing fully well that it was this that led to this? You could have just settled this in amicably. After all, it happened between you and Bukola Saraki. But, you know, it is what it is. Let's take a listen to this video and then let me have your take at the comment section. But remember to be always civil. Thank you for watching.
Confidence in her because of her gross misconduct in the Senate that led us to a 6-month suspension where Kogi Central will not be represented at the National Assembly, the Senate arm. So I've come to recall her back so that we can have a representative in the Senate, because as a people we cannot afford not to have a representative in the Senate arm for another 1 year. So we are here to tell I.N.E.C to please follow the constitutional process for our recall so that our recall process can begin. That's why we're here.
Okay, so have you submitted or?
We submitted our petition. It's been received. All other documents have been received. This is the acknowledgement copy of the petition.
Is it the entire constituency or just a group of people? Under which platform are you presenting?
Okay, it is concerned Kogi youth and women. Yes.
And who is bankrolling this?
Talking about bankroll is a personal business, or it's a personal thing. We are members of our constituents and we are saying we don't want her anymore because you cannot afford not to have a representative. So nobody is bankrolling. Well, we are the one that voted her and we are saying we don't want her anymore. So we're not, nobody is bankrolling, nobody is having any personal issue with her. It is just what it is. The game is the game.
Okay, when you say you come to submit a petition,
yes,
is it a process that maybe you have collected the signature already or you're about to do that? What are the things you have done already?
Okay, thank you very much. We all know the I.N.E.C rules. You cannot submit a petition without having to get signatures of registered voters, and that's why we're now saying as a people we are recalling her back from the Senate because we have gotten what it takes to recall her back from the Senate.
Like how many number of registered voters?
We have 488,000 registered voters from Kogi Central, and as I speak to you right now, we have more than 250,000 voters that have signed for her recall.
Your name, ma'am?
My name is Somali Charity JC.